'cause I've got faith of the heart, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith. Sorry. Hi, everybody. How's everyone? Is this working? Sound good? We rolling. Everyone can see me. I sound excellent. Let me quick pull it up on here. See how this is all looking for me. I see the chat's going. Let's see. How's it going, everybody? Looks like it's working. Cool. How is everybody today? It's good to see you, Punk Rock Zoologist. Good to see you, Just Carowin. It's good to see you, Robert Vleck. Good to see you, Mrs. Wicked Wolf. Just, can't say words. Shane, Council, Omla Drab. Sorry if I say your name wrong. And Force to 6K. Don. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Council of Geeks. How are you all doing tonight? I hope everyone is doing well and having a wonderful evening. I have not been watching PAX, everybody, but I have been watching to try and recover from dealing with a lot of heavy stuff this week. If you saw my videos, I've been what have I been doing? I just watched the PlayStation 5 reveal, or like the next stage of stuff. I guess they announced the finding of the price and everything. So I'm very excited about all that. The only thing I'm kind of upset about is they announced the Harry Potter game, and I'm like, guess I can't play that. Looks exciting, but screw a certain person who helped make that. So yeah, I am very excited for the PlayStation 5. I think that's if I can afford it, I think that's the console I'm going to go with. But I don't even know if I'm going to get it right off. I probably won't get it right off the bat, but we'll see how it all goes. Water. Get your water of choice ready and let's hydrate. Hello, Catherine. My day is going okay, but I found out that my cousin's getting pet lizard diet. Oh, I'm sorry. Which is super sad because I think that lizard's a big comfort for him going through transitioning. Yeah, I definitely know that feeling. Maybe not the lizard, but I had a dog while I was transitioning, and I loved that dog so much. The dog's name was Kazooie, who I think you can see in some of my old videos if you watch some of my old videos. So. Which carry do you prefer, 1976, 2002, or 2013? I haven't seen any of them, so can't say I prefer any of them because I don't have a particular preference. All right. Well, everybody, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be finishing, hopefully, finally, I'm going to be finishing this Star Trek Enterprise NX-01 model. So fingers crossed. I know I love the Kazooie name, Punk Rock Zoologist. Kazooie was I loved that name so much. I might use it again at some point. But I'm going to finally finish this thing off. I have some glue. And as you know, I was basically done with it last time. And then I had to stop because I had some glue issues. So, let's see. So, we're going to finish this guy off. Glue issues. Everyone has glue issues, right? That's a normal thing for someone to say in a conversation with other people. I'm having glue issues. So let's see. So we got our ship right here, if you can see. It's pretty much, I just got to glue on the nacelles here and then stick it on the thing. So let's jump over to that. Oh, J.K. Rowling. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie is one of my favorite things. Rex Trek, do you think J.K. Rowling has malice in her heart? I mean, yeah, it's a whole conversation. I mean, I've kind of addressed in my other videos. You know what I try to say is I'm going to switch over to this view so you can see this model here. What I always try to, what I try to say in my videos is like, actually, where did that glue go? Sorry, one sec. I don't know, there's the glue. When it comes to J.K. Rowling, I always try to assume best possible intent. Like I said, in all of my videos, whenever I try to do an explainer, I try to assume, or at least come from the place of like, what's the most generous possible reading of their actions that I can do. And I've tried to do that with J.K. Rowling over and over and over and over again. But unfortunately, at this point, sorry, I'm just making sure, how do I open up this glue guy? Do I need to do the stabby thing? Yeah, I do. Is the stabby thing in here? Where's the stabby thing? Usually there's like a little stabby thing. But anyways, I try to assume that there's no malice in her heart and everything like that. But at this point, where she just keeps doubling down on it over and over and over and over again, and she's had ample opportunity to learn, to grow, to like, if we wanted to say like, oh, she just wouldn't have known before her essay and everything, like she's had chances since then. And there's only so long that my empathy can extend. And so yeah, that just ruined that pen. So at this point, it's one of those like, do I assume she has malice in her heart? I don't necessarily think she's sitting there saying like screw trans people, but that's the effect that she's having, and she has just continually shown either a desire, like a desire to not learn, or has learned and still decided to do otherwise. So I think at this point it's just sort of like, well, I gotta just handle it like as if oh, I don't even know. I just gotta handle it as if she's, being actually antagonistic, because that's what she's actually doing, just doubling down on it. I sound better about it when I'm not tired. I'm honestly just tired about it. I honestly did the whole Gina Carano thing. And then I didn't want to do a J.K. Rowling video, but I just realized, actually, after talking with Council of Geeks, we were recording our podcast together, and I just, after talking with Council and just sort of thinking about it in my brain, I was like, I guess I do have stuff that I want to say. So, alas. Hello, Night Forager. Welcome to the stream. So, it is good to see you. All right. Let me just finish shaving this off right here. All right, so let's finish off this gluing here. So I've got my two nacelles, as you can see right here in the video. And I've got to remember which one they go on, actually, is the more interesting question here. Let me just make sure they're tight, nice and tight. Actually, this one is, I think, oh, I need to take this one apart because this one's done. But this one, actually, it needs a little bit more work. I know, I hate it when you make me think about things too, Council. Queen or the Beatles? Ooh, that's a hard question. If I had to pick one between Queen or the Beatles, I would, oh God, I would probably go with Queen. I wouldn't want to pick either one, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Queen. One sec. Sorry, I remember I did something weird in this one where it was, I think I put it on backwards or something. What was the dealio? Oh, that's why. Okay. And then this one was also on backwards. Sorry, everybody. I will get more exciting in just a second. There we go. Cool. No, stay in the hole. Gosh darn, I'm having this 100 thing. But yeah, I would definitely pick glue. Careful, glue tube over keyboard. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. To be fair, this keyboard, I accidentally broke my keyboard the other day, so this keyboard is like the cheap keyboard that I've just sort of stuck with for a while. Got toothpicks. No, I don't have toothpicks, actually. All right. Is that good enough? Okay. I think that's good enough. I'm going to stick a little bit of glue right in here, just to get this to close up. Just hold that. Cool. I should be quiet. What genre of music do you listen to? Asked Miss Wicked Wolf. To be honest, I am not, is it super glue? Yeah, it says super glue, but I think it's actually technically model glue, but it might be super glue. I'm not entirely sure. It's my roommate had it actually, so I actually didn't go out and buy it myself. Ooh, sticky. What music do I listen to? So in terms of music, I actually have a really eclectic taste. I am much more a TV and movie person. Music I love, but I don't necessarily like learn a lot about music, so I just sort of go with whatever my taste is. In terms of artists, I'm a big fan of Churches, or Chiverches. They're one of my favorites. I absolutely love the Decemberists. I've seen them in concert twice. Decemberists are some of my absolute favorite band of all time. Stuff like that. The Shins, things like that. I kind of like bands like that. I also listen to a lot of like soundtracks. So the soundtrack that's been getting me through this pandemic mostly has been as you can probably hear in a lot of my videos, is the Outer Wilds, the video game soundtrack. So that's the one I wanted. That's the one I really love. Okay. Oh shite! I think I screwed up. I just put glue on and I missed a piece. Oh no. Let's see if I can shove it in there. Yeah, okay, good. Good, I can shove. Thankfully, I can put that in there. Yeah, I can just shove it in there. Cool. All right. Let's see. Someone else had a question. Hello from Germany. Just want to say thank you for your content and to let you know that I used your research about striking vipers in any one of my academic papers in my university. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, Merch XO. Excuse me if I say your name wrong. That's so awesome. I would love to read it. Please, I'm a huge giant nerd. I love reading academic papers. So, if you ever get the chance, send it my way over on Twitter. If you're interested, you don't have to. But I love reading academic papers because I'm that kind of nerd. But are there places that you enjoy in LA? Asked Nathaniel Robinson. Here's the thing. I'll talk a little bit about my hate of LA. I don't like LA for a couple reasons. I think but the two major ones. Oh, thank you so much, Punk Rock Zoologist. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Well, I'm sending you a heart. And I know you have nothing to say. I will answer the question about LA, but I know you have nothing to say with that super chat. But I will say, I will promote you as a thank you for the super chat. Punk Rock Zoologist is one of the hosts of a Deep Space Nine podcast called Vedic Assembly that just started. Did the first episode come out? Yeah, I haven't downloaded and listened to it yet. I'm excited to. But it's either just about to start or just started. So Punk Rock Zoologist. Go listen to Punk Rock Zoologist Vedic Assembly podcast if you're a big Deep Space Nine fan, which I am. I actually just started season 5 of Deep Space Nine today, so that was very exciting. Anyways, back to Los Angeles. This is, again, everything I'm about to say about Los Angeles is my preference. So I'm not saying like someone has to feel this way else about LA, or that if you love LA and it speaks to your heart, it's just sort of like me. It's just my feeling on Los Angeles. So I'm not going to hate on anybody if you like Los Angeles. Just my feelings on it. So the first thing I really hate about Los Angeles is, and I will talk about why I love it. There's certain things that I like about LA. So I want to end on a positive. That's why I'm starting on the negative. Let me make sure this goes on here first before I glue it. Number one is the weather. I mean, the weather right now is awful. I mean, we had the heat wave, and we had like apocalypse weather because of the fires and the gender reveal party. But even more so, I just don't like heat. I like fall weather. I like crisp, like leaves falling. My favorite weather is like sweater weather, and you don't really get that in LA. You get a little bit in the wintertime, but even then, it doesn't feel great wearing a sweater in Los Angeles, even during the wintertime. So that's part of it. And then LA is just, I like sweater weather. I like being in forests where there's no forest in LA. And also LA is just kind of an isolating city. Even before the pandemic, you have to drive everywhere to get anywhere in LA, unfortunately. And there's no parking anywhere because everyone has to have a car. So it doesn't really make you want to go out or go anywhere, because it's stressful to drive because of the traffic. You can't park anywhere when you get there. So anytime you want to go somewhere, it's just a whole to-do. So you don't really end up hang out with friends as much. And it's not really a walkable city because everything's so big. So it honestly just frustrates me. And I know Council of Geeks is totally sweater weather. Honestly, to be honest with you, I am very jealous of you. And I say this not to get sympathy points, but I say this as someone who... It just, honestly, the weather in LA, especially during the summer, just depresses me. Like it actually, like I know some people get seasonal affective disorder with winter. Like it gets dark and overcast. Dark and overcast days they make me so happy. I live for rainy days. And the fact that I don't really get any of them here in Los Angeles just honestly just brings me down, which is sad. So that's part of why I dislike LA. What I will say, and I will go back to the original question here. I don't want to start hating on LA. Now I'm finishing off this nacelle here. I do like that, number one, there's just, because I'm a giant nerd and I like film and I like doing video stuff, everyone here is like a video nerd because everyone's working in the industry, right? Or trying to get in the industry. So I can go up and have a conversation about TV shows, about movies with pretty much everybody here. And that's a lot of fun. I do enjoy that. That is really, really kind of nice. The other thing I will say is that you don't have to deal with snow. And while I enjoy snow for about a week, the fact that I don't have to deal with it at all, period, here, is nice. And I can get to go back home, visit family, get snow for about a week. That's super, super nice. In terms of places in LA, there's nowhere like outdoors really, because any outdoors feels like it's just being compared to New York. But there are like cool bars and things in LA. There is a place, I haven't gone down to downtown in a while because it's just been so, pandemic-y. But there is a bar called, oh gosh, what is it called? It's freaking amazing. It's called, oh gosh. I'm sorry, I forgot. There is a bar. I will describe it to you, and hopefully the name will come to me. But there's a bar in downtown LA that I adore. It is a 5-story bar, so there's 5 levels to it. When you walk in, it's like you're in an enchanted forest. There's this big tree. There's a river going down into it. And it's just this beautiful, like, enchanted forest bar. Then you go up to the second floor, and it's like a 1920s lounge, like, sort of bar. The second floor actually is sort of like a hunting lodge, excuse me. So the second one is like a hunting lodge. You get like sort of like stuffed up animals and things like bears and stuff. You go to the third floor, and it's literally, it's split off in 2, and they have a 1920s like swing dancing bar on one side, and the other side is like a dance club, which is hilarious. And then the one at the top is, if you go to the top floor, it's a Hawaiian bar. So it's so amazing, and I absolutely adore that bar. There's also a couple other places in LA. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I like some of the escape rooms that are in LA. What else is there to do? Oh, there's just a bunch of nerdy places too. There's some comic books here, like Earth 2 comics that I really love. Burbank, I actually deeply enjoy Burbank. I'm trying to remember the name of that bar though. It's a wonderful bar, but I just for the life of me can't remember it. All right, so now I'm going to do this last nacelle, and then we should be pretty much set with this guy. Oh, the other cool thing, too, is there's an abandoned zoo in Los Angeles. I actually want to film a video there at some point. I'm trying to think of a reason to film there, but there's an abandoned zoo that you can go and visit in Griffith Park. That's really, really, really cool. You get to go in the old cages and stuff. So that's a really, really cool place. Just in case you didn't read it, my message before, well, I can send you my paper, but it's German. Oh, yeah, sadly, I cannot read German, unfortunately. I could try translating it on Google Translate, but that's about the extent. Well, that's unfortunate, but I'm still honored that you used, I enjoy pretending I can get the hell out of here. Yeah, I mean, I just do a lot of escape rooms. I enjoy escape rooms. Can't really do it right now. Do you paint your model starships? I don't know if I'll paint this one, so I think it's done, actually. I don't know if I'll paint this one, but it does come with stickers to put on it. But I think, guys, I think I did it. I think it's done. Look at it. I mean, I need to put the stickers on, but it's done. It only took 4 weeks of trying. But actually, this is really cool looking. I will say, dang, this is, wow. I'm actually kind of impressed with this. Huh. That's so cool. Oh, I actually like this so much. Okay. Well, now that I finished that, I have the base somewhere. This is the question, as I had the base somewhere, and now I don't remember where I put it. The thing it's supposed to go on. Do I have it over here? Because I found it the other day floating around my room. And here it is. Didn't. So here, I'm not gonna put it on here, but I just want to see how it fits. So let's see. Because I still need to put the stickers on, but if it just goes like this, yep, there we are. Hey, look at it. It's on. Let's see if I can pull it up to the. Let me put it on the other camera here. It's. Whoa. There we go. It's the NX-01 on a stick. Starship on a stick. I'm kind of impressed by this. Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm not going to paint it, but like I said, there are stickers for it. So I'm going to take it off the base. Let me switch it back over to here. Let's see. There we go. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for for all the kind words. I've got faith of the heart, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. Boo doo doo boo doo 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 doo. So they're transfers. Interesting. Okay. Let me see what they got here. So in terms of where are the stickers actually? That's a oh, they're over here. Okay, cool. Or the transfers. So here's the transfers. Let's see what they are. Copyright strike. Yeah, I get a copyright strike for singing the dang thing. You know, I did get a not a strike, but I did get a copyright thing for when I did the theme song video I did a while ago. I did get a copyright strike, not strike, but like a notice or whatever the hell they're called for that. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. This is peak enterprise fandom. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. So this is the, yeah, okay, cool. I was gonna say this. A lot of this is the you can see the Terran Empire stuff, but you do get the regular stuff here. Right there. I could make it the Columbia if I really wanted to go with the Columbia, but who wants the Columbia? All right. Do they have instructions on the stickers? Oh yeah, I mean, video claims generally, my experience has been like video claims. If I get a claim on a video, I generally can dispute it, and most people will be okay with it. The only unless it's like a trailer, like my recent Star Trek Discovery Season 3 trailer react video thing got copyright notice on it. But music, dear Lord, I get that all the dang time. Let's see here. Stickers. Where are stickers? Aha. Is that the stickers? Yes. Yes, okay, here they are. I know I'm saying stickers, and I know they're transfers. Okay. Let's see, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Putting these the stickers on my laptop. I like that. I just saw that and now I lost the Steven C. Thank you for that. That's actually a great example. I'll put the Terran Empire symbol on my my laptop. That's actually a really good idea. Okay. So let's see. How do we do this? Let's see. 1A is Any suggestion, by the way, Punk Rock or anybody, on how to put these on in case I screw it up? Where's 1A? There's 1A. Okay. Let's see. The best way to do is cut them out really close to the image, dunk it in water for 10 seconds, and wait 10 seconds. Is that actually how you do it then? Should I just wait on doing the stickers then? Might need to. Because that sounds like a whole process that I'm not set up for on the live stream right now. Yeah. Let me see, what does it say here? Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to do a whole thing. So I'm actually, you know what? Why don't we just stick that here. I'm going to stick this on its stand for right now. Oh, yeah, thank you for the super glue notice there. Put the super glue cap back on. I'm going to put this on its stand here, so I have it. Boo-doo-doo. Cool. And we got a little Enterprise on a stick. So there we go. So I will save these, and I will do this either in another video or in my off time or whatever, and we'll just hang out for another 30 minutes. Boop. Okay. So there we go. So let's just hang out, and we will chat, everybody. Actually have a real chat live stream, unlike past few weeks where I've been doing the model build. Though I think everyone's kind of enjoyed that. So there we go. All right. So if I missed any questions, please let me know, and I'm happy to answer whatever you guys want to talk about. We can rant and talk. I'll stay on until about 6 o'clock my time, so about another half an hour or so, and we'll just hang out. What are my thoughts on Dr. Sleep? I'm assuming you're talking about the movie, not the book, because I haven't read the book. I've read a decent chunk of Stephen King, but I've never read either The Shining or Dr. Sleep. So from what I will say, I really liked Dr. Sleep quite a bit. I loved that movie. I thought it was I love that director quite a bit. He's the same director who did Oculus, Haunting at Hill House, a few other, Ouija 2, I believe. I've seen a lot of his work, and I really, really loved his Dr. Sleep. I thought it was a very clever take on it. It was a good way to, I haven't read the book, like I said, but from what I heard what the differences are between the two, I thought he did a great melding of what the book was and being a sequel to Kubrick's original film. So, and I just thought it was like a kind of a horror movie they don't really get to see. And while some people had an issue with the ending where it was like a lot of callbacks to the original Shining movie, I actually quite enjoyed them. I liked some of the callbacks, and I thought they worked rather well. So I think overall, Dr. Sleep was a really solid film. Not as good as Haunting on Hill House, though. Haunting on Hill House is fantastic. So if you haven't seen Haunting on Hill House, I highly recommend it. It's one of the best horror things, period, out right now. Let's see. Jesse, have you seen the Mando trailer? Says Don Nicholas, excuse me. Have I seen it? Yes, I did see it. I only watched it once just because I've been kind of busy and I haven't had a chance to. It looks good. I mean, Gina Carano stuff aside, because we can talk about her for a whole day. But Gina Carano aside, I am, so Dev was like desperately trying to screen learn about stickers. I promise I will look up how to do them correctly. I promise. And hello, Sean Piper. But what was I just saying? Gosh, I just forgot what I was just talking about. Oh, yeah, Mandalorian trailer. I liked the Mandalorian season 1. I did not love it. I think it was definitely better than Rise of Skywalker and seemed like a more cohesive idea than what they kind of had as a whole for the Star Wars sequel trilogy Disney did. But that being said, I wasn't all that blown away by it either. I loved the production design of it, but beyond the production design of it, pretty much everything that I had seen in The Mandalorian, I had kind of already seen before. And it didn't really excite me in any way. Like, none of the storyline was really got me going or really excited. But that being said, some of the stuff they've set up for season 2 and in that trailer has me very, very excited to see where they go with it. Again, Gina Carano aside. But Pedro Pascal seems like a wonderful human being, so I'm excited for that. So, yeah. So I am cautiously excited for Mandalorian season 2. Plus, it'll be nice to have more Star Wars. That's solid. So, well, thank you, Kurt. Oh, hey, Kurt Ratz, it's good to see you. For those of you who don't know, Kurt Ratz is a absolutely fantastic YouTuber and podcaster that you should totally check out. He does a podcast called Positively Treks, which I absolutely love. Quite honestly with you, Positively Treks is one of my personal favorite Star Trek podcasts. He also does some Star Trek book reviews as well. So give Kurt Ratz some love. He also does these really great Easter egg videos on Lower Decks and everything. So if you're looking for more Star Trek content, Kurt Ratz is an absolutely fantastic person that you should totally check out. So it's good to see you here, Kurt Ratz. I know you weren't looking for a promotion on the live stream, but I just love your work so much. So I just want to make sure I shout out people who I really enjoy. Unlike, Council of Geeks, who I despise. No, I love you, Council of Geeks. Please check out Council of Geeks. Wonderful human being as well. Let's see. Yeah, the NX-01, in case anyone's interested. In case you missed it earlier, NX-01 is here. It's still naked, but I haven't finished it. Okay. So let's see, what else do we got? What do we want to talk about? Just found your channel a few days ago, and I've been binging ever since. You're awesome. Well, thank you, Alicia Kingston. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm glad that you found me, and welcome to the community, and welcome to the live stream, you wonderful person. Of course, I've bested you, Council. I've bested you. Let's see. Trying to look for, isn't rolling like Roddenberry where the creations are more important because fans took ownership of them? Yes and no. I mean, the difference between Roddenberry and Rowling, in terms, and especially in terms of scale, like Roddenberry definitely had problems, especially when it came to treatment of women behind the scenes, though he's by no means, not to excuse it, but he was by no means the only one on Star Trek to do that. But while Star Trek is very much mired in Gene Roddenberry's ethos, the very nature of a TV production is very different from something like Harry Potter, where Harry Potter was a world created solely by J.K. Rowling. Whereas Star Trek, while Roddenberry certainly had a great voice in it, he was not the sole writer on it. He was also not the sole actor. He didn't act in it. He didn't produce it. Gene Kuhn had a really big influence on that. If you don't know who Gene Kuhn is, you should totally look into Gene Kuhn, because if you like something about early Star Trek, he is probably the person who made it happen. So I can very much like. And also Gene Roddenberry is kind of a less problematic dude. Yeah, he can kind of get up his butt about some stuff. Yes, he did treat women kind of badly on the sets of things. I mean, not as badly as someone like Rick Berman. Again, not to make excuses for him, but he did not like directly start attacking people like J.K. Rowling kind of has. Even if J.K. Rowling's done it unintentionally or indirectly. Again, I'm trying to be nice to her as best I can. So, yeah, I can kind of separate Star Trek from Roddenberry, but Rowling is so intrinsically tied to Harry Potter because it is her sole vision. And so that's sort of the problem, unfortunately, with unpairing the two. That being said, Harry Potter I do love Harry Potter still, even though I kind of am more tepid on it because of J.K. Rowling. But it also gave us Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, all those wonderful, and also introduced so many wonderful actors. Like, at the very least, Harry Potter's done a lot of good overall, so I don't want to undersell it. But Daniel Radcliffe is also a phenomenal human being. So is Emma Watson as well. So I always thought Enterprise theme song went, "I got fame of the heart. I've got fame of the heart." Lovely. Talk about Badgie. I'll talk about Badgie, but I also want to say really quickly to Nathaniel Robinson, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. You are, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Badgie. Yes. So minor spoilers for Star Trek Lower Decks. It's not a huge thing, but if you haven't seen the latest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, just be aware. Badgie is hilarious. I hope he comes back and becomes basically Star Trek Lower Decks' Moriarty. Absolutely adored Badgie and thought he was hysterical. I loved it when he was like still trying to kill Rutherford, even as he was dying. It just made me smile. He's so cute in his murderous rage. Thought it was absolutely adorable. Have you heard the theory about the burn in Star Trek Discovery Season 3 being caused by an Omega particle disaster? I have heard about that. The other thing, too, it was that, like, just warp travel isn't working because of that one episode of Next Generation. Because there was that one episode of Next Generation where you learn that eventually warp travel won't be useful after a certain point because it just destroys warp space or subspace or whatever. Was kind of their like environmental damage episode, and then it was just probably ignored for forever. So I hope they do circle back to that in Discovery Season 3. It would make perfect sense and sort of pay off the climate change themes that we definitely need Star Trek to address in some semblance of a way. I think it would actually be a very smart way for them to go. So Toby Vargo, well, thank you very much. I love that trans flag. Absolutely wonderful. It's one of my favorite Star Trek trans flags. Thoughts on Child's Play? I actually haven't seen Child's Play, any of them. I want to see Child's Play, but I just never got around to it. Dolls, when I was a kid, I never got into I never found dolls all that creepy. Now that I'm older, definitely find them way more creepier. So I do want to get around to watching them. I do especially want to watch the more recent one with Mark Hamill. Because I heard that Mark Hamill's take on Chucky was really good. So I am excited to watch that. Thoughts on the theory that it's caused by Burnham somehow? Maybe. I mean, there is the burn and Burnham. It's possible, but I think it would be kind of weird if that was the case. I hope they don't do it. I mean, because it would be it would have had to happen after Star Trek Picard, so in the 25th century. And Burnham wasn't around for that, so it was just it would be weird if she was. Plus, as much as I like Michael Burnham as a character, but I dislike Michael Burnham sort of being the center of the galaxy all the time. Both seasons have had her be the main crux of the storyline, and I love her character, but I don't want it to feel like everything revolves around her. So while I'm fine with how they handled her in the first 2 seasons, I just don't. I really hope it, and I'm fine with her being important in season 3. But I don't want the burn to have been caused by her. But I'm open to seeing how they execute it, because maybe they'll do it in a way that I actually really enjoy. So we shall totally see. Mark Hamill is amazing. I absolutely love Mark Hamill in every way, shape, or form. He's a wonderful human being just to be around, and he always just does really, really good work. So I'm at the end of Season 3 of Voyager, watching for the first time. Are there spoilers in your recent video about it? No, except I do somewhat reference an episode called Year of Hell. And I don't really spoil it, but I do talk about the concept of that episode, and it is some of the best episodes in Star Trek. And I believe Year of Hell is in Season 4. So if you get to your Voyager rewatch, and watch Year of Hell, then I say just go ahead and watch my video, because you won't have any problems. And if you don't mind minor spoilers for the concept of an episode in Voyager, you can watch the video right now, because I don't really spoil anything specifically. Not that I recall. I don't think so. So yeah, I think you'll be fine to watch the video right now. But if you want to wait a little bit and watch Year of Hell, then watch the video, that would be the absolute safe way to do it. What are your thoughts on Halloween 1978? I will say, not a big fan. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the Halloween movies in general. Even though, to be fair, the only Halloween movies I've seen, I've seen the original Halloween movie, and I saw the recent one that just came out. The sort of the one where they ignored everything else that happened, and then they sort of did a sequel, everything. I will be honest, while I understand that Halloween #1 was a great movie for what it was, and sort of set off this sort of serial killer craze at the time, going back to rewatch it when I did, which was about a year or 2 ago, it reads as really, really kind of cheesy. There's that one shot, the one shot that I just can't get out of my brain is she's walking down the sidewalk towards the beginning of the movie, and she looks around and she sees Michael Myers. Yeah, it's Michael Myers. Standing by a bush, and then she looks away for a second and looks back, and then Michael Myers is gone. And I can only imagine that Michael Myers, because he's not supernatural or anything, is just hiding behind the bush. And so I just had this image of Michael Myers just I'm hiding behind this bush. It was just something, I don't know. It just made me laugh more than anything, really. Which I know wasn't the intention. The only scene that really kind of got to me and got under my skin in that movie was the scene where Michael Myers shows up under the sheet. And I won't say more than that in case you haven't seen the movie, but the scene where he shows up under the sheet is legitimately terrifying. But yeah, I didn't particularly love Halloween #1. Spiral, a Saw story being postponed a year. I mean, everything's being postponed right now. I mean, I'm kind of sad. I want to see Wonder Woman really bad. I want to see Tenet really bad. Ugh. And I think I didn't even realize, but Tenet apparently was playing at drive-ins in LA last weekend. So I'm hoping that's still going to be the case this weekend, because I might go out to a drive-in and see Tenet. But yeah, in terms of Spiral: A Saw Story, I mean, it's just one of many movies that are getting delayed. I mean, I want to see them, but it's better to be safe than seeing movies. So what can you do? And the only way I'm going to see a movie within the next year, that's not in my home, is at a drive-in. Even if theaters reopened here in Los Angeles, I probably still wouldn't go, unless I was like the only one in the theater. And in terms of Spiral: A Saw Story being a movie, I'm excited for it. It seems like it was, because there was like that movie Jigsaw a few years ago, which just felt like a movie where the studio was like, yeah, we haven't done a Saw movie in a while, let's just do another one. And so they just like crapped out Jigsaw. But Spiral, from what I saw about it, looked like it was actually people who were interested in making a Saw sequel coming to the studio with an idea to make a Saw sequel, which had me way more interested. It wasn't like a studio mandated, like, yeah, let's make a sequel because why not? It was more of a someone wanted to do a Saw film and actually got to do it, which has me way more interested in seeing it than the sort of cynical thing that Jigsaw was. So that's just sort of my thoughts on that. I am very interested in Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman's one of my favorite superheroes. Also, Chris Pine's in it. Can't say no about that. So I'm very excited for Wonder Woman 1984. What did I say before? 1984. I thought it was great. So, have you played Mass Effect? I enjoyed some of the parallels to Star Trek in that. Yes, I have played Mass Effect. One of my favorite games of all time. I'm actually very excited because it wasn't officially announced, but there was a leak that Mass Effect might be coming in October, remake for PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. So if that happens, I'm gonna be so pumped because I get to replay Mass Effect. And if I do get to play, I'm gonna hopefully if Mass Effect does come out, I'm gonna try to do two things. One, I'm gonna try and Twitch stream it because I just want to Twitch stream it and have some fun with that. And then two, I'm gonna make my character look like Picard, which I think will be a lot of fun. Because everyone was saying, like, Star Trek Picard's like Mass Effect, so why not make Mass Effect look like Star Trek Picard? So it'd be kind of fun. It'd be fun to see that. You're asking me a lot about horror movies of Wicked Wolf. Thoughts on Notch? I mean, Notch. If you don't know, Notch was the creator of Minecraft. He created Minecraft and then eventually sold it to Microsoft for a lot of money. Made a bunch of money, and then now that he has nothing to do with Minecraft, he started tweeting some stuff that is basically along similar lines to what J.K. Rowling said, which was like, trans women or trans people are, not the real genders, all that sort of transphobic stuff. Whatever. I was one of the nice things about that situation, I should say, is, not to give too much credence to giant mega corporations, but at the time that sort of came out, that not sort of went going off about trans people, I actually was working at Microsoft at that time as a video producer. I worked at Microsoft as a video producer for about 6 months, about a year and a half ago. And Microsoft, when I was working at Microsoft, when they learned about that, I actually had a desk right next to Major Nelson, which was kind of fun. Major Nelson's a nice guy. But I do know a lot of people internally at Microsoft were very much like, oh, we definitely don't want to. We want to sort of deassociate ourselves with Notch. So they took out all the references to Notch and everything like that in the game, basically as a way to just sort of like, hey, look, Notch said some problematic things, and we don't agree with it, and we're not. And they're a giant corporation, so. I mean, I wish they would say something more directly, but it was sort of a subtle way to talk about that, which I very much appreciated. It made me feel good to be working there. And Microsoft's, again, giant mega corporation, and I don't really love those, but it's on the nicer end of giant mega corporations, even though it's still not great, for what that's worth, but whatever. Am I planning to do a follow-up on Gina Carano for the Black Lives Matter tweets and everything? No, just because the only reason to do that would be the only reason I could see to do that is to educate about Black Lives Matter and to educate about like the mask stuff that she's talked about, And to be honest with you, there are better ways to do it than just going after her. Yes, I have a lot of problems with what she said about Black Lives Matter and things like that, but, and it's not that I don't want to condemn her for those things and talk about those things, but there are better ways to educate about that stuff. Just because who I like to be is my goal on those sort of things when I do these explainer videos. Just to give everyone sort of awareness on why I do those things. When I do the explainer videos on, William Shatner or J.K. Rowling even, or on Gina Carano, the goal really isn't actually to, honestly, my goal with those is not to condemn anyone or hate on anyone. I actually use it as an opportunity to educate, because I think a lot of the problem with that stuff, what happens with people like when J.K. Rowling or Gina Carano or William Shatner starts tweeting out about like transgender stuff, typically the stuff that they start tweeting about is incorrectly framed, intentional or not. I'm not going to talk about like intention or anything, but like when these things sort of come up, it's usually the people that support William Shatner, J.K. Rowling, or Gina Carano and all these people in their transphobic stuff. Again, I'm not saying they are transphobes. I'm saying that what they do is transphobic. Again, I'm kind of separating the thing. The people that support them usually have a less of a knowledge about transgender issues. So, for example, William Shatner was tweeting about like how he hates the term cis. He thought the word cisgender was offensive in that way. So what I try to do with my videos is, I'll talk about the situation. I'll explain what's going on with William Shatner. I'll sort of break down the social media Twitter problem, which is a continual problem of everything getting heightened, hyperbolicized. But the real goal of that is to use this sort of prescient thing, this, prescient, is that the right word? This thing going on, this topical thing, and sort of use it to educate about the trans community. It's like someone's going to come to my video, click on my video about William Shatner, and then they'll learn about the William Shatner situation because that's what they came for. I don't want to not give you what you came for, but you'll also learn what the word cisgender means. And if I can take a crappy situation and have someone come away learning something, if I can, make a crappy situation a little less crappy and maybe not undo the damage that these people with these bigger platforms can cause, but at least mitigate some of the damage and maybe help someone learn more than they would have otherwise, I can take that as a positive. So whenever I do those things, I try to keep that in mind. I will say I kind of broke that a little bit with my J.K. Rowling video that came out today, because that was more just me being frustrated and there wasn't as much education in it. Though I did kind of hope I educated a little bit about like transgender tropes and stuff like that. I probably could have done more on that, but I was honestly just tired. I didn't have the physical time, and I didn't have the emotional time and labor to be able to put into it. So if I really wanted to, I could have used the video to break down transgender tropes. So that's something that I wish I had done a little bit better, but again, I don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. So there's only so much I can do here. So, and I also don't want the channel to be dictated by those things. Like my videos on J.K. Rowling and breaking down transphobia, I actually like doing that stuff because I like educating and I like taking horrible moments and learning. That's just how I actually get energy out of it. But I just, I don't know. I just can't do everything, I guess, is the where to end on that. So, yeah. So, oh, well, thank you so much, Cast the Last. I really appreciate the super chat. You are absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me see what your question is. Do you think that J.K. Rowling always had these beliefs, or was she, like so many others, into other perspectives and beliefs, radicalized? Also, hi. Well, hello, Cast the Last. I can't speak to that totally and completely. I can't sit. Let me put it this way. I can't speak to that with any definitive nature. I can only go off of what she said in her essay, and I can only kind of go off of how a lot of other people do it. And this is a video that it would require more research, and I want to kind of be careful with what I say here. But when it comes to TERF ideology, and it's something you see quite often, I don't want to overgeneralize because there are people that this does not apply to within the TERF community. But what I see quite often in the TERF community is a lot of the women in that community have been victims in some way, shape, or form. of the patriarchy. Generally from some form of assault. Sometimes it's just abuse. Sometimes it's just general ways that the world treats women shittily, which is just a thing. Again, I'm overgeneralizing here, but I just see that element of it crop up so much. You even see it in J.K. Rowling's essay, because she frames her end part of her essay talking about the abuse that she faced. And I have a great deal of empathy for that. And unfortunately, what happens from there is that pain and that hurt, somehow or other, gets sublimated into hating trans people, because, especially trans women, because trans women in their eyes are men, and all men, they sort of put their pain onto all men, saying all men did this to me, because the patriarchy is a thing, and that's understandable. And then focusing on trans people, because trans people feel like an easy target. There's numerous reasons. Feel like an easy target because they're more vulnerable, so they can kind of have control of that situation. They see them as invading their spaces and taking away from their narratives, things like that. And again, I'm way overgeneralizing here, so I'm not trying to go off on it or anything like that. But that's just the narrative that I see, and so I kind of see that with J.K. Rowling. Again, it's not to excuse everything, but there is an element of sadness that I feel at that community, because it's so rooted in trauma and pain. So yeah, there's an element of empathy for TERFs that I have, but that can only go so far. I talked about this with it's something that I talked about in my last video on J.K. Rowling, is like, I have empathy for that. I genuinely do. I have so much empathy for people who are victims of assault, who have been hurt in so many ways for just being who they are. So much empathy for that. But it does not allow you to excuse doing harm to others, especially doing harm to others who are more vulnerable than you. It's the stuff we talk about with cycles of abuse. I'm sorry for going down this rabbit hole when we were talking about movies and stuff, but people who are abused and dealing with trauma have, not all, I don't want to generalize too much, but there is a propensity for trauma begetting abuse, begetting abuse, and that continuing a cycle. And just because you have faced abuse does not mean that you get a pass on handing it off to others. But I also empathize with why that happens. So yeah, I'll put a pin in that conversation, because it's a much longer conversation and one that requires a lot of work, a lot more research if I want to talk about it specifically and accurately. So that's just sort of it's okay. I'm fine with talking about serious stuff. I just want to, when I talk about serious stuff, I just want to make sure I say it correctly, and I am so much more in live streams. I am much less I am not the best public speaker when I am completely unscripted. Not that I think I'm not bad, but I just generally, my thoughts are better when I can arrange them better. And when it comes to something like that, I just want to make sure I'm very careful. So I guess that's what I'll say. So don't feel bad about bringing up hard topics. I'm happy to talk about it, but just want to, when I talk about hard topics, I just want to make sure I'm being careful. Thoughts on The Matrix? Love The Matrix. It's a transgender metaphor. I love that one of the best movies of all time, one of the best action movies of all time, a movie that so many people like reference, even in like alt-right circles, to talk about serious stuff, that red pilling and everything. I love the fact that it's a trans metaphor made by trans people. Absolutely love it. Though I will say the best work by the Wachowskis of my favorite Wachowski thing is Sense8. Sense8 is honestly, if you have not, I'll sing the praises of Sense8 all the time. Sense8 is one of my favorite shows of all time. I think, if not one of the best shows I've ever seen. Adore Sense8 so much. And I agree with you, Evelyn M. I am so excited for Matrix 4. It's going to be great. And yeah, if you want to see the queen of unscripted rants, Council of Geeks has got you covered. Council of Geeks does amazing unscripted rants. I'm honestly jealous of you. I cannot ramble coherently as much as well as you can. What are your thoughts on their chance of some of the anti-SJW Star Wars YouTubers, mainly the ones who wear trash skins and hide their face, are really QAnon red pillars? I don't know. Probably a greater propensity, but I mean, I don't want to necessarily, because I have no proof on that, so I'm not going to like necessarily try and espouse that. What I will say on that subject is a lot of the stuff we see with that side of things. I mean, a lot of the things we see in the Star Trek community is just the playing out of similar human things that are going on elsewhere. So will I say that anti-SJW Star Wars YouTubers have a greater propensity to doing stuff like QAnoners? No, but it's the same dynamic being played out, you know? Like we talk, all this stuff, like the Star Trek community is in many ways a microcosm of the larger community going on stuff here. So I don't have any research on it, but I will just say, like, it's just the same dynamics being played out in a different way. It's like these conspiracy theories about, Kurtzman's, trying to ruin Star Trek, and he's like having like rants at the writers' rooms about why aren't you like the fringe writers' rooms or whatever, like all those like conspiracy theory things. It's the same dynamic as like the other conspiracy theory, like flat earthers, QAnoners, that sort of stuff going on elsewhere. It's the same dynamic. So whether or not people get sucked into one conspiracy thing or another, whether it's because they're in the Star Trek community or care more about politics or whatever, it's just the same dynamics being played out. So, because human beings are sadly predictable, and no matter where we go, we all tend to play out the same social dynamics, which is kind of fun. Let's see. Speed Racer is great. Such an underrated film. I adore Speed Racer so much. Really, everything by Wachowski's, even Jupiter Ascending, is a terrible film, but one that I like. It's an enjoyably terrible film. I think that's the only movie in their repertoire that is actively bad. And even that one, I just kind of, it's like a so bad it's good kind of. It's like a fun bad. It's not, it's not like the worst thing ever, but it's like a fun bad. So I kind of enjoy it. There was someone just referenced something. I keep seeing it. Oh, someone asked if Steve Shives and I have hung out in person. No, we have not. In fact, if anyone, I've spoken to Steve via Twitter, but we have never actually like verbally communicated like on Zoom or anything. We've only like spoken on Twitter, and then when we do the collaborations together, he just sends me video files. Council of Geeks, I actually physically talk to. We do our podcast, which if you haven't checked out our podcast and you're a Farscape fan, check out What the Frel podcast with both of us. So Council of Geeks and I talk pretty much every single week. But yeah, Steve and I have not actually verbally spoken to each other ever. But we have had conversations, obviously, but we never like actually verbally spoken or met in person. Would love to at some point. Hopefully we can, and he'd be down for it. I don't know what his comfortability with it is. He may not be comfortable with that, but if there's ever a chance, I would love to meet him in person and say hi. So, do I have Disney Plus? No. Do I? No. Sometimes I sign up for free trials so I can watch stuff like Mandalorian and things like this, but I never. I don't think I have it currently anymore. Sometimes I just forget to cancel it, but I did have a free trial to watch Mandalorian, and then I canceled it, so I don't think I have it anymore. The Abyss. I did I like The Abyss? Yeah, I liked The Abyss. I watched it for anyone I think like a week or two ago. I liked The Abyss. I didn't love it. I just felt it. I mean, I watched the director's cut, so it was a bit slower paced, and I kind of saw everything coming. Though I do kind of enjoy underwater like kind of movies. They're kind of fun. But yeah, I don't. I didn't love it. It didn't like knock my socks off. Now maybe if I had seen it when it first came out, it would have been really much more impressive. Like, oh, look at all this underwater stuff they're doing. But in the days of what we see now today, it was kind of like, oh, this was good. It was solid. It was well done, but a bit slow paced for me and a bit predictable. So, Did I watch the PS5 event, says David. Yes, I did. I was very excited about it. It kind of solidified in my mind. I was debating getting the Xbox specifically for Halo, but with Halo getting delayed and the fact that Halo is going to be available on Xbox One, which I have. So considering that, I'm way more interested in PlayStation, the games on PlayStation 5, especially God of War. Gosh, I love God of War. So I'm excited to see that sequel going on. I enjoyed it. Cloud Atlas is one of my best films of all time. I actually did if you want to hear my thoughts on Cloud Atlas, J.H. McDougall, about a year. Oh God, was that about a year ago? Jeez, time. Maybe a little less than a year ago, like 10 months or 9 or 10 months ago. I did a podcast on I think it's called the Watchers of Tomorrow podcast with one of the members of our community, Dr. Isaacs, and we talked for about 2 hours on Cloud Atlas. So I absolutely adore Cloud Atlas. So check out my Watchers of Tomorrow podcast on that. It was a lot of fun. So I my only reference to Atlas Shrugged is like knowing about Atlas Shrugged, its philosophy, and then BioShock. I learned more about Atlas Shrugged in BioShock than I did by actually taking the time to learn about Atlas Shrugged. So what are you gonna do? Are you watching The Boys? Yes, I love The Boys. I think it's, I know some people think it's a bit over the top and a bit like dude bro-y, but I think that The Boys, while not the most nuanced, is a great sort of subversion and look at how capitalism works, how superhero, like the cynical superhero things work, and like media nonsense, how like crazy stuff like racism and the alt-right and all that stuff sort of plays out in today's capitalist world. So I absolutely love The Boys. Love The Boys. I totally understand it not being to everyone's taste, but I actually really I enjoy The Boys quite a bit. Plus, you get your Boimler in there. The actor who plays Boimler on Lower Decks is one of the leads in Star Trek in The Boys, and you get your Karl Urban. And quite honestly, anything with Karl Urban in it just makes me smile. Literally, I like watching Doom, the original Doom movie, because Karl Urban's in it, and The Rock as well. But Karl Urban's great. So, thoughts on Force Awakens, Rogue One, Solo, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker? That's a whole can of worms to undo. So I'll just try and break it down. First, I'll just do it film by film and give my really short thoughts on it. Force Awakens, thought was I actually really enjoyable movie, fun time at the theater, definitely a remake of New Hope, but definitely set up a good way for the trilogy to go. Rogue One, not as big a fan of it as other people. I like some of the stuff that they did. I really like the idea that they killed off everybody at the end of the film. I like the expansion of the universe with that film. However, I thought some of the storytelling choices were not as powerful as they could have been. But generally, I think it's a strong film. Solo, most underrated film in the in Disney's Star Wars filmography. While there are things in Solo, again, there are things in Solo that I wish they had done better, because I think there was a much better film in there, and I think it was just because of the fact that they switched directors halfway through, and if they had kept the initial directors, it would have been a much more unique film. But for what it is, I think it's a fun, enjoyable popcorn flick that I really enjoy, and I think it's very, very underrated sort of movie. Last Jedi frustrates me to no end. I think it has... The thing with The Last Jedi is I think it has some of the best scenes I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie and some of the worst scenes I've seen in a Star Wars movie. And that is incredibly frustrating to watch. It's like, I love this. And then the very next scene is like, I hate this. So it's just like this tonal shift between the two. So it's just so weird. And again, that's a whole thing to break down, so I don't want to get into it because I could talk for a whole live stream about The Last Jedi. But yeah, it has some of the best Star Wars stuff, some of the worst Star Wars stuff. But it also showed me, in getting into the Rise of Skywalker, it showed me that Disney had no plan when they went into making these Star Wars movies. And then the Rise of Skywalker, I actually did a whole video on the Rise of Skywalker. I actually like Rise of Skywalker. Again, it's a fun popcorn flick. It plays like a greatest hits of Star Wars. Not the best, but it's just like, oh yeah, this is fun. It gets me my member berries of Star Wars. It's just the greatest hits of Star Wars. But it's ultimately very, very frustrating because it's just sort of like, well, you clearly had no vision for this, and this meant, like, this whole trilogy meant nothing, said nothing, did nothing, and was just kind of ultimately very, very pointless. That's sort of my thoughts on it. It's like, I enjoy The Rise of Skywalker for just a fun time, but it's also very frustrating because it's sort of like, well, I guess you didn't really have a plan. So, anyways, it looks like everyone's heading out for the night, and I think I'm going to wrap up as well, because I have to do a few things myself. So, thank you, everybody, for hanging out. It was good talking to everybody. You are all wonderful, amazing, beautiful, fantastic people. Just to plug a few things, don't forget to check out What the Frel, which is my podcast with Council of Geeks where we rewatch Farscape. So if you are a Farscape fan or have not watched Farscape ever, I would highly recommend it because I'm watching Farscape for the first time. Council's rewatching Farscape, and it's just a very fun conversation. I also, this Friday, just to give you guys a tease of what is coming out on Friday, Friday is my second retrospective on Star Trek, the Kelvin universe. We'll be talking about Star Trek Into Darkness, which is a lot of fun. I have many thoughts on Star Trek Into Darkness, and we talk about it in that video. And then don't forget to promote other people. Don't forget to check out Kurt Ratz. Kurt Ratz is an absolutely wonderful human being who you should totally check out if you like Star Trek content. Check out Council of Geeks, who is another great YouTuber who I absolutely adore. And then check out the Vedic Assembly from Punk Rock Zoologist, which is a DS9 podcast. So that's all the plugs. That's all the stuff. You guys are all lovely, beautiful people. And I will bid you all a live long and prosper. And I will end the stream right now when my computer lets me. All right. Lovely people. Mwah. Have a wonderful evening.